What's going on, everybody? We're back. Did you miss us? We're live here on the Church Guys Postgame Show. We're your three hosts here, Bishop D'Lo, Bishop L, Pastor Davey. We are all here on this day after Thanksgiving, the 24th of November, 2023. We've been out for a week. We've had convocations and live recordings and a lot of things going on, so we couldn't get with you. But we back here the day after Thanksgiving. New York Knicks escape tonight at home with a 198 win over the Miami Heat. Knicks started the second half off after taking a 1-point lead into halftime. Start off falling behind. Miami goes on a 17-0 run, seemingly to pull away. But the Knicks outscore the Heat 28-11 in the fourth quarter to pull out the victory by 2 points over the Miami Heat. So as always, please like, share, tag, share it on your timeline. The church guys are here, and we got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's start with this game. Let's unpack it. L, talk to us. Well, let me tell y'all something. L turned off the game at one point, y'all. He
I
turned
sure
off the
did.
game. I said, no,
I
we got a
sure
show to
did.
do. Turn the game back on.
I turned off the game not because I thought we would lose. I turned off the game because it was so frustrating to see Tibbs not making any adjustments.
You know, it's literally become a broken record with Tibbs and his lack of making adjustments where it comes to this team and the things that are necessary for them to be victorious
You see them
consistently.
come out. You see them come out of into that second half flat.
Yep.
Make the adjustment. At a 7-0 run, that's when you make the adjustment. Most real coaches would have made the adjustment at a 5-0 run.
Listen, Coach Popovich would have pulled everybody out at 7-0. He would have yanked the entire starting five and
But
gave him a minute to think about it. We lost
but
Davey. Where'd Davey go?
but they go on a 17-0 run.
Seven, 17 to nothing run. And you still didn't really make an adjustment even after the 17-0 run. You called a couple of timeouts, but you really didn't go on make any adjustments. But once again, the New York Knicks bench, which has been its strength for the last several seasons, bailed them out big time tonight.
Bailed them
I
out
mean,
big.
bailed them out big time tonight. Emmanuel quickly was amazing off the bench tonight. 20 points, 8 of 17. He went on a personal 11-0 run in the fourth quarter to get the ball back into Jalen Brunson's hand, he's our closer. Jalen Brunson's our closer. That's our closer right there.
Give Emmanuel Quickly Six Man of the Year award now.
Oh, I said it to my brother-in-law. We were watching the game together tonight, and I said to him, Emmanuel quickly said, oh, y'all cheated me out the award last year? I'm going to leave no doubt this year. I'm the best
Give him
sixth
Six
man in
Man.
this league.
Give him Six Man of the Year award now. But again, that was the reason why I turned off the game because I could take no more of watching Tibbs just let this happen. Like he was just letting it happen. They were flat for 8 minutes. 8 minutes
They didn't even
of
score. They didn't score a point until Mitchell Robinson hit that free throw 7 minutes into the quarter.
listen to me. That's a travesty, and it's again like I said in our text thread. I think it's time for Tibbs to go. Right? I think that he's not the coach that can bring us over the mountain. It's very similar to the situation with Mark Jackson, which is why I'm not really a big fan of Mark Jackson coming in to this culture. I think that Tibbs and Mark Jackson are the types of coaches that can get a group of young talent going, and then you bring in someone who has the coaching pedigree of a Steve Kerr to bring this team over the hump. I think the coach for this team would be Van Gundy.
That's an interesting call. I don't know with the Mark Jackson piece because I can't say that Mark wouldn't be the right coach for this culture, only because you saw what he did in Golden State, and he didn't lose his job because they were playing poorly. He didn't lose his job because he had plateaued. He lost his job over some foolishness that didn't have nothing to do with nothing. So I don't
Well,
think we ever really got the chance to see if he could have been that coach.
we're
I
gonna talk
understand
about
what you're
that.
saying. Yeah,
We're gonna talk about that later. But to
and
the
I don't
game.
want to talk about Steve Kerr because the people forget, and it's gotten lost in the fact that Golden State has won all these championships and gone to the next level. But Steve Kerr was a handshake away from being our coach. Because
Yeah, he
remember,
was.
he was Phil's first choice. That's
Yes,
the
he
one thing that
was.
Phil would have got right. He was actually Phil's first choice,
Yeah,
not
but he
not
didn't
not
want to
Fisher. He was
coach.
Phil's first choice.
But he didn't want to
He didn't want to
coach
run the
under Phil
triangle.
Jackson's that, and he didn't want to coach under Phil Jackson's shadow. Like at the end of the day, everybody in the league, everybody watching the sport knows that you should not be in the front office. You should be on the sidelines.
Right. You don't want that pressure of Phil trying to coach the team from the press box. So I
Yeah.
totally understand that.
So to the game, right? Like again, I did turn the game off. I couldn't take any more of Tibbs just standing by watching us um get kicked in the face for an entire quarter.
Now, we love you, Trey, but
Trey,
what
Trey,
adjustments, bro?
what
Trey, little
adjustments?
bro,
He didn't
what
make any
adjustment? What he
adjustments.
made no adjustments.
He had no other choice but to give quickly an opportunity because the people he left in the game were tired. So
Absolutely.
he had to throw quickly into the game and quickly said, "Now I'm in here. You're not gonna be able to take me out. You're not gonna be able to take me out." That's not an adjustment. That's your hand being forced.
Because if you take him out of the game, you're losing all your momentum.
Yeah, that's your hand being forced. And I mean, quickly saved us tonight. And
Jalen Brunson closed it.
Brunson
He closed it.
Brunson did his thing. My problem is that he inserts his personal beliefs and moral principles on grown men. Mm, that could be true. That
I
could
mean,
be true, but it shouldn't. But it should not be something that it it shouldn't be. If there is no law or there is no rule that states you can share your religious beliefs with your coworkers, then that should not be a reason why he does not get a job. Like
I understand.
I know working in the board of ed, I don't mean to cut you off,
No,
D. I
you're
know
good. You're good.
working in the board of ed, they have rules and stipulations against that,
Right.
right? It's separation from church and state. All of those rules exist in the city in the Department of Ed. But as far as I mean, listen to me. If we are forced, say we're all NBA players, we're forced to not be discriminative to same sex, whatever, or people's sexual preferences, and it's really forced upon us. To be
It
honest
is.
with you,
It absolutely is. It
it's
absolutely is.
forced upon us.
Everywhere we
So
go.
yeah, so like, what's the issue? Like, why can't he share his belief or his moral principles? It's up to them that who he's sharing it with. It's up to them to reject it or deny it. Like it's up to them. And if he is the coach of the team, being the coach of the team, he has every right to, if he has the right to instill a curfew, he also has the right to see to it that nobody's drinking on this plane. Nobody's bringing nobody's bringing girlfriends with them on our road trips.
Those are
If you're
team rules.
married, those are team rules. If you're married, then either your wife comes with you or nobody comes with you at all. But those are team rules. And to be frank, I think he is saving his players from the possibility of bad situations taking place.
Distractions.
Distractions. You bringing a girlfriend with you on a road trip and you got a wife at home. That girlfriend getting pregnant on the road trip looks like what? So he is saving them instead of. It's you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But I don't think that that's a reason why Mark should not have a job.
And the players are on record. Andre Iguodala did an interview a few years ago. The players are on
Hmm.
record saying that the locker room, had no issues with the religious beliefs. He didn't
No.
force them down. This is Andre Iguodala who played on those teams. He said he didn't force us. He didn't require it. None of that were stipulations to be a part of the
Right.
Golden State Warriors. But yes, there were a lot of different things that he did. But by contrast, back when Tim Duncan was a free agent, he was actually going to leave Golden State. Tracy McGrady has told the story about how they went to dinner and basically they asked Doc Rivers point blank, are the wives allowed on the plane? Doc Rivers had his rules. No, it's a business trip. No, we're not taking families on a team plane. And that's the reason why Tim Duncan didn't sign with Orlando. If your preference is not to go by those rules, that's fine. But as the leader of that team, as
Right.
the de facto manager of that group, he has the right to implement the rules that he sees fit for for how the team conducts itself on the road.
I just watched that interview. I just watched that interview. Hendrickson says it's a conflict. I would love to hear what he has to say about that, why he thinks it's a conflict. But I just watched that interview. That interview was actually with Grant Hill, and Grant Hill was saying it wasn't wives, it's girlfriends that were not allowed on the trips or to ride to fly on the plane. It was girlfriends. No, you cannot have your girlfriend on the plane with you, especially if you have a wife. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's actually creating a culture of accountability. I agree.
Absolutely, Jason. Absolutely.
I agree. He is
And
actually.
we live in a world now where accountability is not the thing.
You know what? You know what? I,
You
I
want to bring
think
them
that
on?
this is.
You want to bring them on tonight?
I do want to bring him on tonight. I do want to bring him on tonight.
Jay, you
Absolutely.
available? I'm gonna send you the link, Jay, if you
I
available.
do want to bring him on tonight because this
Meanwhile,
is a
Pastor
very.
Davey's here. This is a good conversation. Yeah, this is a good conversation.
Man of God.
What's up, y'all? Hold on.
Wait, your house sounds like it's still in Thanksgiving mode.
That's because it is.
Praise the Lord, saints.
Your house sounds like it's still in Thanksgiving mode, brother.
It's
It
okay. My
is.
house is in Thanksgiving mode too.
It
That's why
is.
I'm
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 out
I'm in
here.
my studio.
I'm out here by the pool now.
By the pool.
Oh, just go on and show off. Go ahead. Go, go.
It's
I'm by
cold
the pool.
outside, brother. It's cold. I
He's still
hope
by
the
the pool.
pool.
Look, it's all right. He's by the
Listen,
pool.
It's a
listen. If
warm
you
weather
are,
pool.
It's it's the warm weather pool. All right.
well, I'm coming to your house to do baptism.
In Jesus' name.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I got a whole chia. Yes, sir.
Man, did you see Jalen Brunson get up off that floor
With a
in
hurt shoulder.
pain with a hurt shoulder?
No. You're absolutely right. And I was getting ready to get to that point. I was getting ready to get to that point,
Yeah,
Marshall.
yeah, but we'll have to have that conversation. This conversation again, Jason, when you're available. We'd love to
I
have it.
was getting ready. I was getting ready to get to that point, right? So here's what, and I don't think it was really Golden State as much as it was the league, right? The league was starting to have an issue with the players beginning to express their faith. For instance, when Steph signed his sneaker deal, Steph had a scripture.
All
The
things through Christ.
right, the scripture
Philippians
had
4:13. Yep.
to be on his sneakers.
That's why he signed with Under Armour because they were the only ones that would do it.
They were the only ones that would do it. The league had an issue with that. The league had an issue with that, and they attributed that bold state, that bold
Stance.
stance or bold belief statement. They attributed that to Mark, and they said, "Oh, Mark is changing the face of the culture and changing the face of the league." And before you know it, everybody's going to be running around here being Christians. They had no issues with people being Muslims. They have no issues with people being atheists. They have no issues with Kyrie burning sage at the Barclays,
Right.
right? So, I mean, there's always going to be this. If you're a Christian, we have an issue with it because
Christian
corporate
or Muslim,
America,
because let's not
yeah,
forget Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Oh, absolutely. But see, that was before.
Right. That was before this.
That was before. Um, you start seeing people like Larry Johnson take his stance
Mm-hmm.
as a Muslim, right?
Yep.
That's before you start seeing people like Carmelo Anthony, who is a 5%er,
Mm-hmm.
take their stance, right? They don't shun away from that. They shun away from Christianity. He said that's my point. Religion cannot be asserted in corporate America. The Muslim players of the 90s had a hard way to go. You're
True.
absolutely right,
Very
but they
true.
don't have that hard way to go now. They don't have that hard way to go now. They don't. They do not have that hard way to go now. They do not. As a matter of fact, um, old boy is being held as a hero now. They just did a documentary on him. So, I mean, Mark is really, to be honest with you, I really, really wholeheartedly believe that Mark is being blackballed or blacklisted out of the NBA, mainly in due part to his Christian beliefs. And and um and the league is the league doesn't want that in. They don't want that there. They do not want that there. Look at how AC Green was looked at funny.
For being a virgin. Just for being a man who kept himself until
He
marriage.
kept himself, and he kept him, and he kept himself because of his Christian beliefs.
Yep. Absolutely true.
Because of his Christian beliefs, he kept himself, right? So, I mean, he was looked at crazy for that. Marcus being blackballed because of his consistency. Well, he should not bend. The three Hebrew boys didn't.
Listen, I'm with Mark, and I
He
appreciate
should
what he
not
said
bend.
last week. He's like he's getting tired of it, and he's like
Yeah,
I'm not there yet, but I'm almost there. Like he's ready to explode because
yeah. My man
why
said,
should he not have a career?
I turned that job down weeks ago. Like, come on. And I'm sure I know why he turned it down. He turned it down because they was trying to, you know, shut him up. Like, nah, man, this is my faith. This is my faith. And if you can't receive that, then it is what it is. Like, if we have more people who would not sell out,
Absolutely,
maybe
absolutely.
Christianity would be at a greater stance than it's in right now. And I don't believe that the church will ever be defeated because the gates of hell shall not prevail. But I mean, real talk, Mark should not be getting, outlisted. But I mean,
Absolutely, Marshall. Absolutely. These
you know,
systems are
but
the
I think
principalities
overall
spoken of.
it was a good game
Good
tonight.
game
We could
tonight.
have we
Yep.
could have done better. We came out in the first. We came out. We
Strong.
we was we came out strong, 10-1. We was up 10-1. And then I blinked my eyes, and the next thing I know, we're down 12-10. Like, what happened here?
The Knicks came out like they were trying to send a message, and I said, "Oh, y'all gonna blow
Mm-hmm.
Miami out tonight? I'm
Mm-hmm.
with it. Let's
Yes.
go."
Yeah.
And I'm figuring like, okay, let's send a message from last year's playoffs. Y'all are not better than us.
Yeah. Because
Let's
they're
show you
not.
this. Right?
They're
They're
not
not.
better than us. They're not
Where's
better than us.
McCants? I
We
need him on
we
here to
can
talk
beat the
about the
Heat.
mid team
He's
They,
probably not
they
gonna come on
definitely ain't
because
better than us.
because he didn't
Not
see the
this
game.
year, for sure.
They weren't better than
he's
us last year. Miami, and they're worse this year, and we're missing both Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson tonight. This game was too close for a team that essentially played their bench. But you got a mid team with a great coach versus a mid team with a not so great coach.
Tibbs is a great defensive mind. It didn't show in that third quarter, but he is a great defensive mind. He does not know how to make the necessary adjustments. Um, he doesn't know how to make the necessary adjustments when it comes to offense, man. Y'all balling and considering the downfalls. Not a great, inspiring coach. Not at all.
Not
All
all
the
the best
best
pieces.
pieces.
That's
Uh,
true, Marsh. I mean, that's true.
yeah,
We don't
I'll,
have a
I'll agree
we
with
don't
that.
have a great team. We don't
Well,
have great pieces. We don't have a
Spoelstra is a
superstar.
great coach.
That's the truth. And
Spoelstra
and
is,
that's the difference. That's the difference right there.
and
Hey,
I
If
can
folks.
tell
Spoelstra's
coming
coaching the
out.
Knicks right now, the Knicks are probably 11-5 or what are we 8, 9, and 6 now? The Knicks are probably 12-4 or 13-3 right now if Spoelstra's coaching this team.
Now we've won 8 of the last 9 games.
I bet you with Spoelstra coaching us, we beat Boston opening night.
Oh, absolutely, without question. With Van Gundy coaching us, we beat Boston the opening night.
Absolutely.
Right.
We've won 8 of the last 9 games. So we can't take that for granted, right?
No,
We got to
not at
talk
all.
about that, right? They are balling. They're finding a way to win.
In spite of
Okay?
their coach.
They're finding a way to win in spite of the coach. But how long is that gonna last, right?
That's the
Like,
question.
And it's too stressful. It's too much on the heart. It's too much on the heart. But look,
Yo, my brother-in-law started pacing around the man cave with me. We was like, yo, this game. Come on.
first of all, we're glad to have you back, David. We know you've been
He been busy
you've been
recording
busy.
albums. Recording
He
albums
recorded
and
the
stuff.
album. My song got taken off that album. I wish, I couldn't come to the rehearsals. I got sick and all that other stuff. All of that stuff became a part of the fact
you
that
got. But we gonna hold on to that song. We remember it.
But-
We gonna hold on to it.
somebody
Move it
met
to the
me.
next project. To the next
Somebody saw me the other day and they said, "I'm so mad we didn't do your song." I said, Davey got it. Maybe he'll studio record it. I don't know.
Absolutely.
but it's. I mean, we're playing good basketball. I don't see us getting destroyed on the court. Even in our losses, we haven't been getting destroyed on the court. But Tibbs,
Except
I
for
don't
that one
know.
game against New Orleans. We got
Davey
blistered.
Davey loves Tibbs. Maybe let's hear what you got to say, because I'm sure you've watched these games and you see what J Mac has been talking about, brother.
Tibbs is a good. He was coach of the year 2 years ago,
2 years ago.
and
He
you
was
got to
coach
look
of
at
the
what we had to do. We had to deal with Jeff Hornacek. We had to deal with David Fizdale. We had to deal with Derek Fisher. And when we got Tibbs, he's helping change this culture.
He absolutely
No,
did. But
I will not.
Tibbs is not going to get you over the hump to the finals or win.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Dave.
You're not gonna win a championship with Tibbs.
Dave, I completely and totally agree with you. Right? He has definitely helped to change the culture, because the culture has also been changed by the front office as well.
That's where it started.
They play a part, right?
Yes,
Kenny
Mike
Copeland,
Woodson.
Mike Woodson.
Mike was a very good coach.
51 wins, yo.
He understood
51
how to
wins.
get the most out of his players.
51 wins. If Stoudemire doesn't break his hand, that's the
beat
year we
Miami.
win the chip.
We beat Miami.
We win the chip that year. If Stoudemire doesn't punch a fire extinguisher or whatever it was he punched,
Yeah, fire
he was
extinguisher.
wilding.
The fire.
But,
the fire extinguisher eggs the glass.
Yeah, we win the chip that year. That's the year. Oh my God, that was the year we was stacked. Tyson Chandler.
We had Jason Kidd. We had Jason Kidd that year.
We had J. Kidd, Rasheed Wallace, Tyson Chandler, Carmelo Anthony, Stoudemire. Raymond Felton was back with
Raymond
us.
Felton was with us. We had a
I
young
think
Iman
we had
Shumpert.
Iman Shumpert. What's my boy from Cleveland?
We had J.R.
J.R.
Reed.
Smith.
J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
They were deep 1 to 12 back then. That
Yeah.
team was deep one. You had Marcus Camby coming off your bench.
Marcus, I forgot Marcus Camby was back with us that year.
Kurt Thomas was with us. We had Rasheed Wallace for a handful of games that year. Like, that team was different.
Yeah. Yeah.
That team was supposed to win the championship.
I understand what you're saying, Dave. Yes, he has changed the culture, and he was coach of the year 2 years ago. But why is that? He was coach of the year 2 years ago because he had a group of players who overachieved, and they overachieved because of him. Let's just be frank. And that's not 2 years. That's the year they made the playoffs the first year he got here. Because isn't this year 4 for him
This
now?
is year 4 for him. Yes, that's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the first year, and they overachieved, right? They were not expected to make the playoffs until the following year, but he did a heck of a job
He did.
with that squad, and of course he should have. I think that's the year Julius got most improved player,
Yep, that was the year.
right? So like, yeah, of course he deserved that coach of the year. He had a freaking JV team at the time that made the playoffs. Now, granted, we got smashed out of there in the first round by Atlanta,
I mean,
but
Alfred Payton was our starting point guard. I mean, let's be real here.
Right.
Come on.
And Ntilikina was his backup.
Right.
Oh.
We overachieved.
oh, Neil Keena, Jesus, oh my God, you just like
The thing about Alfred though was Alfred is a good point guard who can't shoot. Like Alfred made good decisions, so Julius didn't really have to handle the ball as much. That second year when we didn't make the playoffs, when the ball was in Julius's hands a lot more because we didn't really have a point guard, that was a problem.
right.
That's why they went out and got Brunson, because they realized we got to take the ball out of Julius Randle's hands. 6 turnovers in the first half tonight.
6 turnovers, and that's Julius by himself. Julius by himself had 6 turnovers. I seen him bring
He
the
got to
ball
stop
up the
doing them
court.
spin moves. He got to stop them spin moves. That's what he's doing.
It's
Tonight
predictable.
it was a bag. It was the spin move. It was the lazy pass. It was the jump pass. He was just horrible in the first half.
That spin move by Julius Randle, I'm getting ready to call it the Todd Hall.
What?
It's prophetic. It's prophetic. We see it coming.
It don't miss.
Every time.
We see it coming.
We see it coming. After the third dribble, Todd Hall it. After the third
You
dribble.
know it's coming.
Come on, Kenny Copeland. We don't want to talk about Obi. That was a bad move, but yet a good move. It was a good move.
It was a good move for Obi.
It was a good move for Obi. You wasn't going to be able to re-sign him. You wasn't going to be able to re-up on him because he was dissatisfied and unhappy here.
And the coaches sold on Julius Randle as being his guy.
Yeah,
Hey, Obi need $20 million a year. He gonna want $20 million a year. We ain't got it.
yeah. So we
We
got
gave
it.
Josh
but,
Hart $20 million. We gave Dante DiVincenzo $20 million. Still ain't give Quickly needs 25 now. After this first 15 games, Emmanuel Quickly gets $25 million as far as I'm concerned.
Listen here.
Yeah, quickly price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. For quickly.
Exactly. And that's exactly how he's playing right now. He gonna be like, that $20 million that went up. I'm gonna need 30.
Absolutely.
And if he wins that Sixth Man of the Year, they're gonna have to give him 30.
They're gonna have to. Because Quickly's easily a starter.
Anywhere in the league, he's a starter.
He just about single-handedly pulled us out of that 20-point debt, man.
He did. That fourth quarter, most of it belonged to Emmanuel Quickly till Jalen Brunson closed it. That backcourt with him and Brunson in the last 5 minutes was but no, L said it because they was trying to give Tibbs some credit for an adjustment, but no, you couldn't take Quickly out. You had to put Brunson in. You couldn't take Quickly out, so you had to put them in the backcourt together because that was the only way you're going to win this game tonight.
Only way.
That was the only way. And in the last 5 minutes, they played keep away and kept the ball away from Julius, which I was very happy about.
Y'all think we got to get rid of Julius?
I don't think we need to get rid of him just yet. I think that I don't think. Oh, well, let me say this, Davey. I don't think we need to get rid of him for nothing.
Right. I would say that. But
right? Like we don't need to be getting rid of him for nothing. We need to, because it's not that Julius is not trash.
He's just not a number one. He's not a number one.
He might not be a number 2 now.
Well, not for nothing. He's not a number 2 on this team.
He's not a number 2 on this team.
The pecking order right now is Jalen and RJ. Then Julius Randle. That's
very
the pecking order on this team right now.
Very true.
Jalen, then RJ, then Julius Randle. And when Quickly's on the 4, he drops to number 4.
I'm glad you mentioned RJ. I'm seeing a lot of heart.
He's
I'm,
playing.
it,
Oh, he's been great. Oh
he
my
like
God, he's been great.
RJ, except for that game where he faked a headache, a migraine.
I'm telling you, that's a knee injury. You cannot convince me because nobody misses 3 games with a headache. I'm sorry. Unless your name is Scottie Pippen.
My
Nobody
man
misses
said
three
he had a
games with a
I got
headache.
a
headache.
migraine.
He said he
You
had a
got
migraine.
migraine?
That's because it was Boston. He ain't want no parts of Boston. That's what that was.
He could have
But
went and got some Tylenol or something for that.
That's the point,
Motrin,
Bishop Woodall. We wouldn't trade him for nothing. Like, we would have to get something, a good package back for Julius Randle. But
Julius Randle
he's not our number
is
one. No.
Julius Randle.
Agreed, Kenny.
I don't think Julius Randle is an in-season trade. I think Julius
Yeah.
Randle is a
Agreed.
draft night trade.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
think he's a draft night trade. You don't trade him in the season because you're not going to get anything in the season. You look at the board at draft night and you say, okay, you know what? I want to go younger. I see this kid coming out of college. He made some noise in college. I'm going to go younger and I'm going to go with him because I'm getting ready to trade what would be a number 2 on somebody else's team that's actually a number 4 on my team. And if he's a number 4 on my team and I'm not losing my 1, 2, or 3, and I'm adding a young body from a college, from a D1 on draft night, take Julius for him because you know he's proven, and let me get this kid. Pick this kid for me right here.
That makes sense. And Bishop Woodall, he's actually not making number one money. He's actually on a very team-friendly contract. Julius's contract is at about $26 million a year. Very team-friendly.
All right.
Given that he's a 2-time All-NBA player, that's very team-friendly and very tradable. The Knicks did good with his contract. They did very good with his
Absolutely,
contract.
absolutely, absolutely. That's a draft night. That's a draft night trade, not in season. It ain't in season unless you getting Zion.
Now New Orleans gets ready to move from Zion. Take Julius. Take Josh Hart. take
Evan Fournier.
Don't take Josh Hart. Don't
if
take
I
Josh Hart. Take Julius. Take Evan Fournier. Take 2 picks from us, and
two, you can have 3. I'm fine for Zion.
right.
Take 3
And
picks.
give me
We
Zion.
we got
Like
11. I
Take 3
mean,
picks.
we
you
got
know.
11.
All
We
right.
have
And let me tell you.
11.
You
Let me
just
tell
sitting
you.
on him.
Let me tell you another pick. Let me if it's an if it's an in season trade. My only nervousness about this is that this dude gets injured, but if he's healthy, a good in season trade would be Julius for Porzingis straight up.
Boston's not making that deal.
They're not gonna make that deal, but Julius for Porzingis
Ooh.
straight up
I
because
I would have done
Porzingis
that during the
don't.
offseason when Washington made him available. I don't know why the
When
Knicks didn't
Washington,
call.
they're
I don't know
crazy
why the Knicks didn't make that call.
because
I would have made that
because
call.
you know what it
And I would
is
have put
because they
Porzingis at the
probably
4 and put him up there with Mitch and dare somebody to come to the rim.
absolutely.
And he balling in
Because
Boston right now, man. He balling.
Porzingis stretches the floor, and so he legitimately stretches the floor. He's not a
Legitimately.
he legitimately stretches the floor.
Yes.
He can shoot without a question. He can shoot, and so you know, I mean, that's one of the that's an in season trade that I would make. But you know, Boston's not giving up on Porzingis. He is actually really exceeding their expectations right
Listen,
now.
Yeah.
they are talking finals 15 games into the season because of the way
Not gonna
Porzingis is
happen.
playing.
Not gonna happen.
Oh, Orlando smacked them around tonight.
They sure
I'm like,
did.
Orlando
Orlando
Yeah.
making
smacked them
some noise too.
around.
They ain't no slouch. They ain't
Orlando
no
is
You know
slouch.
11 and
what? I
5.
think that wait. I
Orlando is
think
11 and
I
5.
think that's why our boy didn't accept our invitation tonight.
Because they got smacked around.
We wasn't even thinking about that,
What?
Jay. You could have
Right.
came on the show. We wasn't even thinking about that.
Orlando smacked Boston around tonight. They smacked them around. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, this is bad. But
But I'm happy about the win tonight, man. We pulled it off. We
It
pulled
was
it
a
off.
great win tonight. It was, you know, it was the Garden had a playoff vibe to it.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
And I love that court, man. They did the court up all NCAA style.
Yo, Ella's like, nope.
That court looked like a FIBA court.
Well, I mean, the tournament is an international vibe.
How's this tournament working? How many more games we got to win?
Well, we didn't get bumped tonight because we would have got bumped tonight if we'd have lost.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, in our group we are currently in second place. We're probably not going to win our division unless Milwaukee loses, because Milwaukee's 3-0. Now we have the second place tiebreaker in our group, because as of right now our point differential, because that's what they're going by. We were already a plus 16 going into tonight's game. Miami was only ahead of us because they were 2-0. Miami was a plus 13, and since we beat them by 2, we're now at a plus 18, and they're down to a plus 11. So our point differential has us in second place in our group.
Okay.
So right now we playing for a wild card spot, because we can't win the division outright because we lost to Milwaukee. So even if Milwaukee loses their last game and we beat Charlotte, the only way we do that is if Milwaukee loses, and then we have to blow Charlotte out and like leapfrog Milwaukee in order to have the higher point differential. Like, it's very convoluted. It's very, very convoluted. And I'm mad at myself for even sitting down and reading and understanding all of this.
I'm mad at you for it.
Because I said, well, if they're going to do this, let me at least we got this show. I need to understand it. People may want to know. They don't want to just listen to a McCann rant or a Butler blast all the time. We have to be able to give them some stats and give them some understanding. So I said, I'll be the stat guy. But so that's how that works for the in-season tournament. Right now, we're in a wild card slot for the in-season tournament. There's one more week left. We play Charlotte in our final game. We need to beat Charlotte, but we need Milwaukee to lose, and we need to beat Charlotte by like 15 or 20 in order to leapfrog Milwaukee if they lose and win our division and be guaranteed a spot in Vegas.
It said these guys is getting paid $500,000.
The winning team gets $500,000 each player.
That's crazy.
Right, they're already millionaires. You're gonna give them $500,000 for winning this tournament. Yeah, pretty much.
Somebody gonna get hurt.
Once they get to Vegas, it's gonna be serious at that point. Especially for them bench players who are on team minimums, because they only making $2 million. They're like, I get another $500,000. What? You need me to go take somebody out, coach? That's what's gonna be happening.
That's the best house in Georgia.
So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting thing to see.
Great win tonight. That again, like I said, I was not happy with the way Tibbs coached it, but they pulled it off.
When are we ever happy with the way Tibbs coaches it? I mean,
they pulled it off, man.
Quickly won this game for us tonight. By the numbers tonight, Jalen Brunson led all scorers with 24 points tonight. Manuel Quickly, 20 points off the bench. Rowan Alexander Barrett Jr., 18 points tonight on a very efficient 50% from the floor. He didn't shoot well from 3, but he's still coming back from his migraines. Julius Randle, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, but 7 turnovers. 7. You cannot turn the ball over 7 times in the NBA.
It's either the coach has to go or we have to add the piece. We have to add the piece.
I think
we need the Rasheed Wallace piece to the Detroit Pistons championship.
Yeah.
They won that championship because they got Rasheed in the
Wallace.
right?
Absolutely.
And that was midway through the season. Was that at the trade deadline, I think?
That was a trade deadline deal, yeah.
We need that kind of a move. We need that type of a move that would say, all right, they're going to win 15 out of the next 20 just because of that move. Very similar to the Josh Hart trade. That Josh Hart trade.
Josh Hart, but on a greater scale. Yep.
On a greater scale, right? We need that. because we need to go on a 15, 16 out of 20 run
Absolutely.
that would say, oh, we better watch out for these dudes.
Right.
Because if you go on a 15, 16 out of 20 run,
You've played everybody, and you're now top 2 in your conference.
you top 2 in that conference. And what is anybody going to say? Like, you need a player that comes in and says, this is what we're going to do. Who is that player, D, that the Knicks could make a move for that would get us on a run like that?
Um, I mean,
Let's think expiring contracts.
let's just look it up. Whose contract is expiring?
Yeah, let me go get the iPad too. Let's look that up.
Let's see here. While we're doing that, y'all like, share, tag, comment, please. Continue the conversation with us. We want to engage with you. Sports Guys post-game show. Knicks win tonight, 100-98 over the Miami Heat. NBA in-season tournament. Third game. All right. So
NBA in-season confusion.
all right. Expiring contracts. Everybody that's currently on an expiring deal. LeBron James.
We don't want him, no.
Paul George. Okay. Paul George.
Paul George wouldn't be a bad move.
Kawhi
But I don't
Leonard.
think that would be the move.
If LA continues to fall out of contention, I could see them moving on from one, if not both of them.
Okay.
Klay Thompson. He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. Right.
Tobias Harris.
That would be good.
James Harden, who we don't want.
Don't want him because he's a shell of himself. I don't think he'll ever be the same player again.
Pascal Siakam from Toronto.
Don't know him.
Drew Holiday, Boston Celtics. Gordon Hayward, Charlotte Hornets. Kyle Lowry, Miami Heat. Here's where it gets interesting now. DeMar DeRozan, Chicago Bulls. Buddy Hield, Indiana Pacers.
Okay.
Mike Conley, Minnesota Timberwolves.
Mike Conley. Okay.
Bruce Brown, Indiana Pacers.
See, but you're not giving me any names that could that
I'm
that
just going
could.
through the list. I'm just going through this is the list. This is the list. I just pulled the list.
I'm looking at this list. I'm looking at the same list.
Bruce Brown, Indiana Pacers. Lonzo Ball is hurt, so he's not an option. Joe Harris, Detroit Pistons. Lights out shooter. Lights out shooter who stretches the floor. Evan Fournier. Spencer Dinwiddie, Brooklyn Nets. OG Anunoby, Toronto Raptors. D'Angelo Russell, LA Lakers. Gary Trent, no. Markelle Fultz. Here's a fun one and a redo. Marcus Morris Sr. Winning player, understands his role, good defender, tough.
Yeah, I understand that, but we
Tough.
want somebody that's going to get us a 12 to 15 out of 20 run.
I think an addition like that could do it. Marcus Morris is but again, that would be, for me, that's based upon a team that has an established number one already, and you're bringing him in to further solidify the glue piece. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Denver Nuggets. Jonas Valanciunas, New Orleans Pelicans. Malik Beasley, Milwaukee Bucks. Tyus Jones, no. Luke Kennard, Memphis Grizzlies. Doug McDermott, San Antonio Spurs. Doug McDermott is sneaky good. He's not a needle mover, but he's sneaky good. Gary Harris.
That's Doug Buckets, actually.
Dougie McBuckets, yep.
Dougie McBuckets.
Kelly Olynyk. Robert Covington, Kobe White,
Hmm.
Rashawn Holmes,
There's nobody on here that will do that for us.
Nicholas
There's
Batum, PJ
there's
Tucker, Joe Ingles. Yeah, there's nobody here.
there's
Alec
nobody
Burks,
on here like
James Wiseman. There are no needle movers
there were no
who
needle movers, right?
who are available at the trade deadline. And then you've got these max deals like Zion Supermax would kill us
Mm-hmm.
cap wise. Shoot,
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram Supermax would kill us cap wise. Like these guys are on like $40 million deals. You know, that's why they say Karl Anthony Towns is a long shot. He's got a Supermax that starts next year. You want to pay Karl Anthony Towns $45 million a year?
Absolutely not. I'm not doing that.
Because I don't think he's a needle mover either. He hasn't been able to get. Listen, the Timberwolves are not even his team anymore. That's Edwards' team now.
There's no needle movers out there, right?
Yeah,
Which means that the Knicks have to build, right? They have to build what we have and build around what we have. We probably can't do it except for within the draft. And I guess that's the reason why we are stacking up all these picks, right? It makes sense now why we have all of these picks because you can either use these picks as as bargaining chips for a star player in the event that a team wants to build from the ground up.
I guess the move is to throw money at the Miami Heat scouting department because they find diamonds in the rough every year.
Mm-hmm.
Every year. And the Knicks traditionally have not been able to do that. Miami, they've done it again this year. They done got Josh Richardson back off the scrap heap, and he's playing well for them. You saw that tonight. You know, this Mexican kid they found, Jaquez, who was killing us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The Miami Heat scouting department, throw some money at them. Let them go find some players for us. That seems to be the deal that needs to be made. They need to go find us something because that's where it is. Spoelstra's scouting department is second to none. Pat Riley's scouting department second to none.
Right.
They know how to find players and get the most out of them. And then you put them in this culture with the right coach. You see what happens.
We definitely have to watch some college basketball because it looks like that's where the excitement is going to be. I really like I want to see what St. John's is going to do. I want to see if Howard is going to go back to the big dance, right?
St. John's is going to the NCAA tournament. They got Rick Pitino.
Yeah, but they having struggles lately, though, man.
Yeah, it's year one. But they'll be back in the big dance.
Yeah.
Remember when
So
Pitino took over the Knicks, the first half of that season they struggled. But once
Yeah.
Pitino gets them into gear and they're playing Pitino basketball, Pitino's teams, his NBA team especially, when he coached the Knicks and that time he coached the Celtics, with the Knicks he had the bomb squad. Like these guys was just coming down jacking.
Right.
This dude had Mark Jackson shooting 40% from three. And Mark Jackson was never a great three-point shooter.
I beg to differ because when he got to Indiana, he used
he was
to
killing
light us up.
That's true. But when
He
he
used
first
to
came into
light
the league,
us up, brother.
He wasn't great when he first came into the league, but with him and Trent Tucker, Ross Strickland was coming off the bench. Like, that was crazy. Gerald Wilkins, that was a shooting team. That was the one time the Knicks had surrounded Patrick Ewing with some shooters. And it was a situation. It was definitely a situation.
Yeah. So I mean, like again, tonight was a great win, great team effort. They didn't let that 21-point lead because we were down by 21. They didn't let that 21-point lead kill them. Most Knicks teams back in the days would have let that kill them.
I credit the bench for that because that bench has no give up in them.
They have no die in them, yo. They
I
have no
totally agree
dye
with
in
you.
them, and that's a great, that's a great thing, man. Like I love that about our bench, man.
They believe they can come back on anybody, and they proved it tonight. They came back against a great Miami Heat squad. And when
Yeah,
you think about it, Miami had 90 points, like 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. They scored 8 points the rest of the game. 8 points.
St. John's is right now. What is St. John's? I'm trying to see where St. John's record is at.
Well, it's still very early in the NCAA season
Yeah,
because they
but I
don't get
want to
started
say,
till November.
what are they like 3-1 right now or something like that?
Checking.
But we need to be watching them. We need to be watching St.
St.
John's.
John's is currently 3-2, 5 games
Three and
into the
two.
season. 3-2, 5 games into the season. The conference schedule doesn't begin until December, but they're 3-2 overall
Right.
right now. They're 3-2. Uh,
Right.
UConn's already 6-0. Oh God. Villanova's 6-1.
It's that Big East basketball,
Big
boy.
East. Providence is 5-1 already.
It's that Big East basketball, brother. Like they don't be playing.
Listen, Big East was the conference when we was growing up. You know that the Big East
Yeah.
was that was it. Like if you came out of the Big East, whoever came out of the Big East or the ACC was probably going to win a national championship. That's how it was every year. Whoever
Yeah.
get, and then you go into the heyday of the Big East that year that they had 3 teams in the Final Four. It's never been done again. How do you put 3 teams in the Final Four?
hmm I
You
don't
have
know. I know it
Villanova,
generated.
St. John's, and Georgetown all in the Final Four at the same time.
I know it generated a lot of money.
It sure did. It sure did. It sure did.
Listen, when I go to school, when I go to St. John's, just to walk around the campus and just have a moment. Um, I go inside the gym. If it's just now, it's not Alumni Hall no more. It's
Carneseca Arena.
Carneseca Arena, and that joint is humongous in there. It's huge in there. Um, I mean, like it just brings me. I remember when I started school and I was in the cafeteria with Ron Artest and Felipe Lopez, just chilling. Right? It was a vibe there. There was such a vibe there, yo. It was such a vibe there. And for a long time that was gone. When you go to the bookstore to buy a sweatshirt or something like that, for a long time that was gone. But now it's
The
back.
buzz is back here. You brought in Rick
That buzz
Pitino.
is back there. Yeah.
You got Rick. You got one of the greatest. Well, not just one of the greatest coaches there was, but you got to remember this man was also a Big East legend himself.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was a Big East legend. So
Yeah.
I know it was huge for the program to be able. When Rick Pitino says he wants to come coach you, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. So
Mm-hmm.
and he's got something. He's got a chip on his shoulder because of the way they pushed him out at Louisville. So he came here to win. I know he did.
Exactly.
He came here to win. So
Spurs are beating the Warriors right now, 52-50.
yep.
Um,
What's Wemby doing in that game?
let's see, because he got shut down in New York.
Mitch said, "Not on my watch. You will not. You're not
He
coming
got
here having
shut
no big
down in New
game."
York, buddy. Full box school. What's Wimby doing? Wimby has hmm, he's got 9 points.
Oh,
He's
okay.
got 9 points so far.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's got 9. You know what I want to talk about? Yo? I want to talk about this season that the Jets have had, yo. And I'm a Jet fan. But I need to talk about this season that the Jets have had, yo. Like,
Did you see the
first of
play?
all,
Did you see the play at the end of the first half today? That's the season
that
that the Jets have had.
that Hail Mary.
Firstly, your defense kept you in this game in the first half. What in God? You just intercepted Tua twice in 65 seconds. What would possess you not to take a knee at the end of the quarter and just come out down 10-6, but now you've made Tua go into the locker room thinking about the fact that he just threw back-to-back picks to your defense? If you put that in their minds and just let them go sit on that, Miami's not going to throw the ball in the second half. They wouldn't have thrown the ball in the second half.
The Jets can't
Instead,
score.
no, that offensive
They
line is
cannot.
awful.
They cannot score.
Their
I,
quarterbacks have no time to throw.
they cannot score. It is horrible. I want to look at something. Hold on. 4-7.
4-7
Jesus.
now. Yep.
Jesus Christ.
But ironically, they're still in the hunt somehow.
I have no idea how it's even possible, right? We've
Still in
lost
the hunt.
4 in a row.
Yep.
We went on a 3-game win streak.
Hmm.
Okay. So we won the first game 22-16. Lost the second game 30-10.
It was Dallas, so.
Lost. So what? We should have beat them. I don't. Lost to the
But we had
Patriots
Zach Wilson.
15-10. Lost 15-10 to the Patriots. Lost 23-20 to the Chiefs.
We got cheated in that game.
Yeah, 31-21 to the Broncos. We won
We
that.
beat the Broncos. Yep.
We beat the Eagles 20-14. We
Still trying
beat
to
the
figure out how we did
Giants. I had no idea. They was undefeated at the time. We
Barely
beat the
beat the
Giants.
Giants.
Barely beat the Giants 13-10. Then this four game
Losing streak. Yep.
4-game losing streak. Let's look at this score. With the exception of the Raiders, which we lost 16-12, which those games to me I think are winnable, right?
They're
But
definitely
when I
winnable.
see but when I see a 12 spot on the scoreboard, it means that it was either only 4 field goals, right? Or 1 touchdown and 2 field goals. And you missed the and
Missed the extra point.
you missed the extra point, right? So with the exception of the Raiders losing 16-12, we got spanked 27-6 by the Chargers.
Hmm.
Spanked 32-6 by the Bills.
Hmm.
Spanked 34-13 today
Hmm.
by the Dolphins. Like, come on, man. At what point do we get better? Like, they can't score. The
Why,
team
and
cannot
that's
score.
really it. And watching these games, like I mean, I get from the point totals it looks like we got spanked, but the truth of the matter is our defense can only do but so much.
Hmm.
And if your offense is not at least moving the ball down the field to
Hmm.
keep the other team's offense off the field, your defense can only do but so much.
Right.
And then when your offense is getting intercepted 3 times like they got intercepted today, losing fumbles like Zach is prone to doing, you putting your defense with their back against the wall too many times. Your offense has to score points in the NFL. You have to. And right now, the Jets just can't. You said it. The Jets can't score points.
They can't score.
They cannot score points. I have never seen anything like this before in my life. They cannot score points. I mean, today they had 2 touchdowns. One of them was scored by their defense on a pick 6. Like if the Jet defense is not playing lights out, they're not going to be in any game.
Not going to be in any game.
So, very disappointed. I hope Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back this year. Because,
I think it's a waste.
yeah, he
I
should
think
just
it's a waste.
rehab and come back strong for next season.
Exactly.
Because this is, and they got to shore up that offensive line for next season. Because if you're gonna put him back there, you got to protect him. You got to protect him.
Oh, boy.
But Knicks win tonight, 100
Take a good
to
one.
98.
We take a good one. We take a good one, and I'm very appreciative of this win. Although I turned the game off, but I turned the game off because I could no longer take the coach.
In
I
his
could no
poor
longer take the
performances.
coach and his poor performance as a strategist.
Correct. Looking ahead to Sunday night, the Phoenix Suns come into town. Kevin Durant and uh, that team, they come in to face the Knicks at the Garden. Tip off is at 6 o'clock Sunday night. We will be on with our post game show immediately following that game Sunday night as the Knicks close out this homestand. And then they head back on. No, I'm sorry. They don't close out the homestand. They close out the homestand on Tuesday when the Hornets come in the final in season tournament group play game, and the Hornets come into the Garden. So the Knicks will finish out the in season tournament on Tuesday. So we'll be back Sunday. We'll be back Tuesday with the post game show, and then the Knicks will face the Detroit Pistons at home on Thursday. Oh, this is a nice little homestand here.
Yeah,
Pistons on Thursday. Then okay, all right, okay, okay. So
it's a great. Yeah,
yeah, nice little homestand here that the Knicks got coming up. So the Knicks again have to protect home court next couple of games. The Phoenix Suns are a good team, not a great team. They're currently 10-6 out west, but they're beatable. The Knicks have proven that they can play with anybody. They can absolutely play with anybody. And
yes,
if they and if they're playing well together and everything's clicking, they can beat anybody. The Knicks right now lack consistency, and they lack those in-game adjustments that a coach can make that can push you over the hump in those close games. Tonight was one of those games that was 50-50, and it wasn't the coach that pushed them over the hump. It was the heroics of Emmanuel Quickly and of Jalen Brunson that did it. But Sunday's coming. We'll see what happens on Sunday night. So, as always, thank you guys, as always, for joining us on the Church Guys Post Game Show. Thanks to David Wright, who joined us, but he's still in Thanksgiving mode, so I'm sure he had to get back to his cup
they
of
are in
coffee.
full Thanksgiving mode.
uh, Thanks to Jason McCann. So, although he couldn't get on tonight, we're going to get Jason a fire stick for when he's in Atlanta so he can bypass the blackout rules and be able to watch the game
Those
down.
blackout rules don't be playing either,
They
brother.
don't listen. That's why I got me a fire stick. Yeah, I'm in Virginia. Blackout rules be darned. We will not be stopped. I'm
I'm
going to
trying
watch
to
the
see
game.
something here. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm correct. And first
Okay.
of all, we're in sixth place.
Yeah. But as you
Jesus,
can see, the East is wide open. East is wide open. Almost
it
a quarter of
is.
the way through the season, the East is wide open. Like there are teams like Orlando. Nobody expected Orlando to be 11-5,
Last 10 games, we are 7-3,
which is good.
which is good. Last 10 games, we're 7-3. I'm trying to, oh, let's see, full schedule. That is, today is, okay, let's go back here.
Listen, in the conference, it's all about tiebreakers. So it's like, listen,
Hmm.
you can be 9-6, but if you beat everybody else that's 9-6, you're actually ahead of them. So that's all that really matters.
So we lost to Milwaukee. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4.
In the conference right now, the Knicks are 7-4 with 2 losses to Boston, 1 loss to Milwaukee, and a loss to Cleveland. Those are
Hmm.
our 4 in-conference losses. We've beaten Atlanta twice. Um, we
This
beat
season
Miami.
already?
Yeah, we beat Atlanta twice. We've
Yeah.
beaten Atlanta twice. We've already beaten Milwaukee. I'm sorry, not Milwaukee. We've already beaten Miami, uh, and we have beaten Cleveland. We've split with Cleveland so far,
And we beat Charlotte.
and we've beaten Charlotte. So that's and we've beaten Washington.
Matter of fact, looks like we beat Charlotte once. Nope, we beat Charlotte twice.
Beat Charlotte twice. Yeah, 2 wins against Charlotte, 1 win over Miami, 1 win over Cleveland, 2 wins over Atlanta. Yeah, that's where we are right now. And 1 win over
Okay,
Washington. That's our 7 wins in the conference so far.
let's go. Let's
So,
do it, B.
so that's just it. You got a decent in conference record, but you look at it. The Boston's 11-3 in the conference. Orlando is 6-2 in the conference. Milwaukee's 10-5 in the conference. Philly's 8-4 in the conference. So you know the teams that we need to be going after, they're all playing well in the conference.
Yeah,
We got to start beating them. We got to
yeah.
start beating them. And in the division, we're 0-2 in the division. We've lost to Boston twice. I'm trying to figure out how Boston has already played 8 divisional games already
I don't know, but it looked like they got our number.
this year. Yeah, uh, they're stacked this year. That team is stacked.
Is
That
that what it
Boston team,
is?
that starting 5 at least is stacked. Because Missoula is not a good coach. I really don't think Missoula's a good coach. I think
Hmm.
their talent level went up a notch, and it's taking nothing away from Marcus Smart or Robert Williams. But you replace 2 starters with 2 guys who are freaking All NBA players in Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. So you replace 2 really good, solid NBA pieces with potential All Stars. So I mean, well, not even potential, with former All Stars, because both Drew Holiday and Porzingis have made All Star teams. So you replace those guys with 2 All Stars. So yeah, your talent level went to another level.
All right.
That's why Boston is where it is. Milwaukee surprises me because I feel like they took a step back in talent, but yet they're playing well. But Dame
Yeah.
is a big deal. Dame, you know, you essentially traded Drew Holiday for Dame Lillard, and that's a good deal. That's a good deal. But thank you
I would
all
have
for
to
joining
agree.
us. Any last words from you tonight, Bishop L?
Uh, keep hope alive.
Okay, Jesse. Okay, Jesse.
Keep hope alive, and let's just let's go Knicks. Like I'm a diehard fan. I'll never abandon my team again. I'm going to the grave with the orange and blue. I've made that up in my mind.
Absolutely.
Um, but we definitely have to pray, right? Um, Prayer is much needed for our squad. Like we have to pray.
I'm praying that the Lord keep us from injuries and headaches.
Yeah, that part, right? That part,
No more headaches. No more. RJ cannot miss 3 more games with migraines.
right,
Because you see the offense is just not as good when he's not there. It's just not as
right.
good. It's just not. It's not. And he did a pretty good job with Jimmy Butler in the closing moments of the game
He sure
tonight.
did.
He did a
Oh
good job
man,
doing that.
that last play, because Jimmy got that shot where he wanted it.
Yeah, but that contest was better. Made him arc it just a little bit too much, and it didn't go down.
Yeah,
So that RJ did good. He always said he wanted to hang his hat on his defense. So I really feel like everybody's been waiting for the leap, and it happened a year later than we thought it would. But I think this is the year that RJ has now taken the leap so far. He's playing at an all-star level so far through the first 15 games of the year. So
I would agree.
want to hope. I'm hoping that he will continue on that trajectory, and that we can put 2 Knicks on the all-star team this year with him and Jalen Brunson. That would be great.
I know Jalen should be on that All
Yes,
Star squad.
yes. Eastern Conference Player of the Week last week.
He sure was. He
So
sure was.
that's definitely
So
something that should happen.
I think
So we
we're in
think
good shape with 9 and what? Would it be
9 and 6,
nine and
9 and 6.
9 and 6? 3 games over 500.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Three
keep
games
it
over
going.
500.
Eight
Couple
of
of
the last 9, right?
we got 8 winners of 8 of the last 9. 3 winnable games coming up at home. So this is where you got to hang your hat. Suns are good, but you're at the Garden. on a Sunday evening, which will be an earlier start for them because it's a 6 o'clock start for us, which means if they're coming in off a jet lag, they're 3 hours behind us. So that's a
Yeah.
winnable game. Charlotte is very winnable at home, especially because Charlotte's not good, and
Hmm.
and Detroit's not good. So these are three winnable games. The Knicks should be able to go on a nice little streak right about now. Winning the next, go on a nice little 4 game winning streak and get things pushing out, get some air under them, and get more toward the top of the conference before we get into the harder part of the schedule where you'll start making these West Coast trips and stuff.
Right.
As you know, there's always a Christmas West Coast trip, so we got to get ready for that. It's always Christmas Day at the Garden, then the week after they go right out west, and that's usually the L.A. Golden State Portland trip, which is always a nightmare.
Who are we playing on Christmas?
Christmas Day is the Philadelphia 76ers.
I don't want to see that game. I want I want Joel Embiid to be a Knick by then.
That's not going to happen.
That's a good in-season trade that I would love to see.
It's not going to happen because Philly's 10-5, and they really think they got a shot.
They think they got a shot every year.
Right, but
Somebody needs to tell them.
their chemistry is much better now.
Okay.
Their chemistry is much better now that James Harden is gone. Obviously, you lose something talent-wise when you lose a James Harden, but their chemistry is much better.
James Harden has not been the player that he once was, though.
I agree, but he is one of those guys that, because of his reputation, he can take over a game when he needs to, and that's just not something that Yes, Joel Embiid is great, but he's your Batman. You don't have a Robin. Of course, James Harden didn't want to be his Robin, which I thought was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. We're not playing Philly. We're playing Milwaukee on Christmas Day. Milwaukee comes into the Garden on Christmas Day.
Okay.
12 noon, Milwaukee, New York. Warriors, Nuggets at 2:30. Celtics, Lakers at 5. Sixers, Heat at 8. And Mavericks, Suns at 10:30. That's the Christmas Day slate. And then right behind that, then the Knicks after Christmas Day. They go to OKC on the 27th. They go to Orlando. Oh, they're not going West Coast. They go OKC to Orlando on the 29th. Then they're back-to-back to Indiana. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
And then New Year's Day, they're back home from Minnesota on New Year's Day. So we're not going out west after Christmas this year. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's
Right.
a good thing. Which means, obviously, that's going to be a later in the season trip. But hopefully, we'll have enough cushion that, going 2-2 on the West Coast trip won't kill us. But it's shaping up to be a fun season. A lot of parity so far in the NBA. 15 games in. We're almost at the quarter pole. 5 games away. And things will start to shake out, and we'll start separating the contenders from the pretenders very shortly. We'll start separating contenders from the pretenders. Thank you all again for joining us as always on the Church Guys post-game show. Once again, New York Knicks prevail over the Miami Heat 100-98 on the backs of Emmanuel Quickley and Jalen Brunson. Sunday night, Knicks versus the Phoenix Suns. 6 p.m. Eastern Time, live from Madison Square Garden. We'll be on immediately following that broadcast. Join them on MSG, and then join us right back here. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor. Church Guys Sports Show. Hopefully all 4 of us will be together on Sunday afternoon, and we're looking forward to it. Until then, orange and blue skies. We'll see you Sunday night. Have a great night, everyone.